Hello guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Grim Report. Well, not report, Grim Files. Yeah, this one is we got a phone call, we're heading to France. Now, the information that we got on this thing before we left was that it was a rather noisy thing, and it kind of did a disservice. And, well, this thing is from what they call the questing beast. It's a creature of many names and sizes and appearances, several features, however, consistent throughout its appearance in Arthurian legend. First, it is very noisy. Its offspring, with its belly bay and yelping consistently, it is also always a pretentious creature, but it symbolizes has varied from Arthur to Arthur, finally commonly pursued or hunting, whether by night or by its offsprings, which within its belly, and often end up giving birth in the process. Although questing beast has been popularized an English-speaking word by Mallory Lee Mort, the creature is more commonly known as the beast of GLATISSANT, or bestial. I'm gonna same word in modern French. I'm not speaking French, nor do I care to speak French. I'm not even gonna say these words or even attempt to, because I'm not a French-speaking person. I butcher everything that's not English. We know this. We all do. Yes, we do. Well, anyways, this refers to the sound coming from its belly. A yelping or baying sound like those of hounds chasing prey. This is also the definition of questing. More accurate modern name would be yelping beast or barking beast of questing. The concept of noisy animals in their mother's womb precedes the questing beast. William of Malmesbury described a dream that he had was by King Edgar, and the king sees a pregnant hunting dog laying on at his feet. She was silent, but the pups in her womb were barking loudly. This is interpreted as the meaning that after King Edgar's death, miscreants within the kingdom would bark against the church, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's what we're after. Not a barking dog, but the questing beast. Or let's just call it the yelping beast. Okay, how about we do that? That way, it won't, you know. But getting down to the description, the questing beast is said to have a head like a serpent, a body like a leopard's, buttocks like a lion's, and feet like a hart, H-A-R-T. Its belly made noise like a 30 couple hounds barking. King Arthur first sees this questing beast after an enchantress with his wife of King Lot of Orkney, Orkne. Arthur had stopped to rest by a well when the questing beast, making a horrid din, come up and drank from it. As it drank, the noise coming from its belly was quelled, but it started up as soon as the creature had finished, and ran off. Arthur then encountered Sir Pellinore, who hunted the questing beast. After Pellinore's death, the task of hunting the questing beast was passed to Sir Palamedes. Merlin later revealed to Arthur that a significant of the questing beast, the king had seen the beast because he too had done something unforgivable. The wife of King Lot was his sister on his mother's side, and the children of his adulterous and incestuous union, Mordor, was destined to destroy Arthur's kingdom. Basically, what this thing is, it is said this thing is honestly there because you've done something horrid. It's what I gather from it. That's why they quested it, because they done something wrong. I guess to get forgiveness, they quested its beast. Well, anyways, we didn't do nothing wrong. But the person who called us, wanted us to do, was kill the thing for him. Or capture the thing. So he said. Not something we normally do. Besides that crap in Japan. The first time in Japan. Yeah, I don't like doing that. Going after someone's prey because they don't want to do it. So we got to France about around 6 a.m. their time. I went back to bed in the hotel. We were to meet with our the people who were going to pay us. We were meeting up with them around about 10 a.m. So their time in France. Like I said, I went back to bed. I did not want nothing to do with this creature. From what Sarah had read to me and had told me, and what I've looked up myself, which you got all the information we did. I didn't want nothing to do with it. But it was money. And we need the money. And this is what we do. We hunt things. We track things. We do all this. We investigate crime, stuff like this. You know, this type of criminal activity, paranormal activity. I say criminal activity because this is a crime. We're hunting something that should not exist. It makes me think, why are these things starting to come out of the woodwork now? It's just weird. These creatures are real. Why is it that these creatures are coming out now, of all things? Why is myth and legends becoming actual facts? I just hope what this was about was true. And I don't know how we're going to see this creature when we didn't do anything wrong. Or so we thought. It was about 7 a.m. when I woke up. Yeah, that's 6 a.m. A 1 hour nap. That was all because of Sarah's heavily reading into this creature, like a big time. She looked up every book, everything she could on it. There wasn't too much on this thing, other than the Arthurian legend. And a few other legends that she looked up and she found it. There's a whole bunch. I've only read a portion of what she found. So here's what we did. We set off. We met up with them at some little, I don't know, someplace in France. I don't keep track of where we're at. You guys know this. I don't keep good track of anything. It's good enough that I can even remember these stories to tell y'all. But it was some mansion in France somewhere. I don't know. Like I said, it was a big place. We met up with them. They were gonna send us off with a couple of a little bit of information and tell us where it was last seen. The person who saw it was gonna help us find this creature. And from what we knew, the person who saw it is the one that's in trouble. He did something or said something from what the myth is said to tell us. And we got to this area and we camped way out there in France, the big old empty part of France that nobody even goes to. There is nothing there. Just this empty area. It's weird. No one can explain that either. Well, when we got there, we camped, we set up camp, and did our usual thing. Scouted around, put cameras up, led them back to camp, put out bait, traps, and whatnot, so on and so forth. What I understood, this thing was not very easy to find or easy to kill. It is a questing beast. They never said no one ever killed it. Not from what I've read. No. Someone may have killed it. But from what I've read, no one has. It's elusive. And it's killed people. But no one's ever killed it. Suppose that's why they want it alive. If everyone caught it, then I just thinking, okay, if someone caught this thing and killed this thing, the quest would be over. Would they get redemption for what they did? It makes one wonder. If it was that easy to get redemption. No. About around around 7 or 8 at night, I was on watch and I started hearing something that sounded like dogs barking. Oh, I looked over at the dog that the man, Monsieur Francois, is what I'm going to call him, had brought. It was asleep, snoring its ass off. Now I'm looking at the cameras, and there's two cameras focused on this one spot, crossing each other almost. Because it was aimed right at the bait. And this way, if whatever it was took out one camera, it wouldn't take out the next. Stuff like that. I woke up Jim. Jim shook his head, was a bit groggy. He looked at me and said, "What?" I said, "Jim, man, it's here." He looked around. We had brought some lethal weapons, but The guns were not allowed in France that I know of. The ones that we wanted to bring. Jim picked up a bow that he had brought. Well, that I brought. Handed it to me. And the arrows, and he picked up a crossbow. Loaded it, and notched an arrow. Now, thing is that I don't know the rules of the laws of these countries that I visit. So I'm just gonna go with what I got. Me and Tim, we slowly creaked up to where the thing was. We would have woke up Sarah and Monsieur Francois and his 3 bodyguards. We just didn't want the hassle. We got closer and closer to the sound, and closer to this creature. It had a lizard head, lizard-like, almost snake-like, almost. A leopard-like body, and well, it had some pretty big front legs and some pretty huge hind ends. And a lizard-like tail. Looked like a lizard with fur on it. Not very camouflaged. But it was making that noise. It was creeping up to the food. You could see it walking. Hear it too. As it got closer, the barking got louder. I told Jim, don't fire until you hear it at its loudest. And it got so loud where we nearly had to plug our ears. And we shot it straight in the same, almost in the same spot, on different sides. Not in the head, but in the stomach. We got his attention. Looking at one of us, the other one, Jim, me, Tim, Jim, me, Jim, me, Jim, me, Jim, me, Jim. It couldn't decide which one it wanted to do, which one it wanted to attack, so it hit Jim with his tail and ran for me. Just as it got close to me, a shot rang out and it got shot dead in the head. It fell out. It wasn't dead. Don't get me wrong. We used sleeping sleeping poison on it. What was it? Poison, but it was in something. A chemical to put it to sleep in my arrow in his um bolt. And Sarah hit it with a dart gun. A fairly loud dart gun, but a dart gun. It was out. She saved my ass. We went over and got Jim up, and I looked at Sarah and I thanked her and shrugged off. She still doesn't speak to me very often. But yeah, they locked it up in some type of cage, a container, and they put in the back of the truck. They dropped us off at the hotel and paid us our money, and they left. Something strange was going on with these guys. I really didn't like them. I didn't like what they were doing, and had the same feeling with the Japanese group. I didn't like what they were doing, but we did what we had to do and got paid for it. So on to the next one in France.